Alright, so the first section of your worksheet was the set of pictures you were given with the question, how big? And here are your answers in the correct order. So you were not supposed to glue them in yet, but just lay them in order. So from smallest to largest, we have the Hubble telescope, which is 40 feet long, the moon, which is 2,000 miles long, Saturn, which is 75,000 miles in diameter, not including its rings. The sun is 875 miles in diameter. The Pleiades stars are, fifth, which are 60 trillion miles across. Sixth, you have the Whirlpool galaxy, which is 600,000 trillion miles across. And then you have the deep field galaxies, which are 600 million trillion miles across. I mean, these numbers pretty much from, well, really 3 to 7 are pretty hard to even imagine just how far away that is, or how long that is. I mean, 2,000 miles is probably from, I want to say, I don't know, 3,000 miles is about across country. So 2/3 of the country across is 2,000 miles, approximately. So the rest of these are huge lengths and distances. So right now I want you to pause the video and take some time to glue in those answers in the correct order. And then I also want you to write these distances underneath each picture. So pause the video now to do that. Next we have how far. And again, it's interesting they're in the same exact order that they were for how big. A Hubble Space Telescope is 350 miles above the surface of the Earth. The Moon is 250,000 miles from the surface of the Earth. The Sun is 93 million miles away from Earth. Saturn is 790 million miles away from Earth. The Pleiades stars are 200 million trillion miles away from Earth. Or, sorry, that was Whirlpool galaxy. The Pleiades stars are 2,400 trillion miles away from Earth. The Whirlpool galaxy is 200 million trillion miles away from Earth. And then deep field galaxies are 30 billion trillion miles away. Like, I mean, even writing that number out would be something that would probably be a challenge. And that's really far away. So again, take some time. This is just to give you the scope of the universe. The universe is huge. Take some time to pause this video, glue in the correct answers, and again, write down these distances for your own reference. And last we have how old, and we see a lot of ties here, and the ones is not in the same order. Obviously the Hubble telescope is the youngest. It's man-made. It's has a lot of technology going on. It was made in 1990. A few years probably isn't accurate anymore. It's probably more, I mean, it's 23 to 24 years old now. Second, you have the Pleiades stars. They're only 80 million years old. And then we have a tie for third between the Moon, Saturn, and Sun. Notice all three of these things are within our solar system. So that kind of indicates that our solar system all formed about the same amount of time ago, 4.5 billion years. And then we have our deep field galaxies, which are approximately 10 billion years old. Again, pause to get these glued in and your years written down. And lastly, I want you to, I know you haven't turned in your folder check yet, but I want you to just turn to a completely new page in your folder, or get a sheet of loose leaf and do this on a completely new page. It shouldn't be on any of your notes from the last chapter. And I want you to write down these universe quick facts. First one, it's 13.7 billion years old. That's really old. Think of that. Like 93 billion light years across, which is a huge distance. Light years you would think is a unit of time, but it's actually a unit of distance. Kind of skip down here to this last bullet. Light is one of the only connections we have with the universe outside our solar system. Light, how long it takes for light to reach us, tells us how far away something is. We know the speed of light, and how long it takes to reach us tells us how far away it is. For instance, the sun. Light from the sun takes 8 minutes to reach us. So the light you receive from the sun actually was given off by the sun 8 minutes ago, which is kind of crazy. So that kind of helps us figure out how far away the sun is, because obviously we're not going to take a rocket ship with a speedometer onto the sun to see how far away it is. Light is actually our indicator of that. And our other fun fact is it contains 100 billion galaxies, most of which have been photographed but have not been even named or identified or investigated. There's so many. And there's probably more out there that we don't even know about that Hubble hasn't found. But think about that. We're one solar system, which is a tiny speck in the Milky Way galaxy. In reference to the universe, we are nothing. The universe is huge. So you might, before I end the video, you might want to pause it, make sure everybody gets these facts down. And I hope you guys have a great weekend.